I know, I've made a lot of videos that say there's no evidence of God. But this video is different. I know this might surprise you, but this video is an admission that sometimes all we need to do is open our eyes to see the evidence of God all around us. I guess my epiphany must be something similar to that experienced by Michael Behe, a proponent of intelligent design.
I remember the first time I looked in a biochemistry textbook and I saw a drawing of something called a bacterial flagellum with all of its parts in all of its glory. It had a propeller and the hook region and the drive shaft and the motor. And I looked at that and I said, that's an outboard motor. That's designed. You know, that's no chance assemblage of parts.
What caught Behe's eye was this simple but compelling proof of an intelligent designer. The thing that moves the flagellum is a complex piece of machinery. There's no other word for it. Machinery. A rotary motor composed of a number of different parts.
The bacterial flagellum has 2 gears, forward and reverse, water-cooled, proton motive force. It has a stator, it has a rotor, it has a U-joint, it has a drive shaft, it has a propeller.
And since it's a machine, even I have to admit, it must have a designer. You'd have to be pretty stubborn to argue that all the various parts of something so complex came together by accident and began working in unison. And this designer would have to be the most powerful being in the universe, God. So however reluctantly, I have to agree with the creationists. God must have made the bacterium. The proof is right here. Not only is the flagellum cleverly designed, a lot of bacteria simply couldn't survive without it. It allows this species, for example, to swim in water. When the water is drunk, the bacteria should die in the acidic environment of the stomach. But the flagellum allows the bacteria to swim into the small bowel, where they can improve their environment in an ingenious way. They secrete an enterotoxin, which stimulates mucosal cells to pump chlorine ions into the intestinal lumen, and that causes an imbalance which results in water flowing into the intestine. The bacteria are once again in a watery environment in which they can flourish. The bacteria Salmonella typhi is ingested into the stomach through food, and once again they've been perfectly designed to defend themselves against this hostile environment. Using their flagella, the bacteria escape the stomach's acid by boring through the intestinal wall. Here the body's white blood cells wrap them up in an effort to destroy them. But the bacteria have been designed, yes, there's no other word to describe this ingenious defense, to change their structure and avoid annihilation. They remain alive inside the white cell bundle, effectively camouflaged and immune from further attack. Now they can proliferate and spread to the lymphatic system, and from there they infiltrate the body's vital organs. To show just how well designed the bacteria are, they grow best at 99 degrees Fahrenheit, exactly human body temperature. I could talk about how HuEuqnWKxy0 pylori uses its flagellum to burrow into the stomach lining and fend off destruction from stomach acid by producing an enzyme. The host gets chronic gastritis, duodenal stomach ulcers, gastric ulcers and stomach cancer, but the bacteria, thanks in large part to their brilliantly designed flagella, survive. It would take days to describe the intricate design of all these motile bacteria, not to mention the millions of other species of bacteria that don't have flagella. Listen to Dr. Ken Miller as he struggles to come up with an explanation for this clear proof of intelligent design.
If irreducible complexity is right, then the parts of these machines should be absolutely useless. But if evolution is right, we should be able to take these machines, look at their parts, and discover, wow, they do other jobs. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's take the bacterial flagellum. So if we start with the flagellum, here it is, and these drawings name the genes and the proteins in the flagellum, and we say, let's take away a whole bunch of the parts. How many? Not 1, not 5, not 10. Let's take 40 of its 50 parts away. Now watch very carefully, because I'm going to do that experiment right there. There it goes. The parts are all gone, and I have left 10 parts that span the membrane. What are left behind are 10 proteins in the base of the flagellum. Now, if irreducible complexity is right, this should be absolutely functionless. It should have no function. But if you'll pardon the double negative, what is left behind is not non-functional. What is left behind is the type 3 secretory system, and it is fully functional.
But there's a very good argument that absolutely refutes this. Finally, I want to appeal to all the evolutionists out there. I know you think your theory is absolutely right, but the next time someone tells you about the incredible complexity of the bacterial flagellum, or the huge amount of information that's been encoded into the smallest living things, don't just babble on about inheritance, variation, and natural selection. Concede that there is a possibility that a loving God who cares deeply about you must have made something as perfect and as complex as this.
It has a stator, it has a rotor, it has a U-joint, it has a drive shaft, it has a